Rad Radio. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Rad Radio. I'm your host, Rob Anthony Dyer. Today I have a special guest, Othello Clark, who has quite a diverse career, from skateboarding to snowboarding to hosting and now acting on The Bold and the Beautiful. So it's going to be an interesting show. How's it going, Othello?
Things are great, Rob. Thank you very much. Happy to be here. Happy to talk to you. Congratulations on your show.
I appreciate you being here. You were skateboarding. Skateboarding to snowboarding seems like a logical jump. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I was from Virginia. I'm from Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Virginia. Pharrell, the music producer, and Timberland, the other music producer, we were all best friends growing up. So when school was over, they went the music route, and I went the snowboard route because I wanted to come out west and do big things. And so that's how I ended up here. I was skating, actually, and after a skate event, it was snowing in the mountains, and we went to the mountains and we skied, and I couldn't ski, and I was like, I know I could snowboard, and I tried it the next day, and sure enough, I picked it up, and then the following year, I moved out to Aspen, Colorado, because I heard it was the place you had to be. And so that's what brought me to Aspen.
All right, cool. Yeah, I can see the skateboarding skills. It would translate pretty well to snowboarding. And I can't ski either. I took some lessons, but the last time I skied, I just went over a bump and I crashed right into the ski lodge.
Wow. Yeah. No, I actually snowboard better than I walk right now. I snowboard and skateboard better than I walk. That's my life, first and foremost. I'm getting away from it. It's time. I've been doing it for so long. I got here and it all worked out, you know what I mean? And snowboarding became my life. And then I got a gig on a show called Good Morning America. And Good Morning America came and did an episode on the day in the life of a snowboarder. And the snowboarder was me. And so my people called me back in Virginia. I did a little modeling and stuff like that. And I was kind of in the scene a little bit. So they called me and got me the gig, and then when the gig came to be, they filmed it all day and taped it, and then when it aired about 4 days later, all these companies called me up from all over, and they were interested in becoming my sponsor, so they all flew out 3 days later and met me on the mountain. And one guy would go up and I'd put all his stuff on me and talk to me on the lift all the way up and tell me what he could do for me, this, that. And then I'd ride down onto the board, do some tricks, and then get to the bottom, strap out, tell them thank you, go to the next guy, same thing. And I did it all the way through all 10 of the people. And then at the end of the day, I signed with 3 companies and I went pro snowboarding, and I've been traveling the world snowboarding ever since.
That's amazing. Obviously, being on Good Morning America is great national exposure. So they contacted you. That must have been a surprise.
It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it when I got the call. I was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, it's you. So when they came out and they did it, it was phenomenal, and I didn't know the scope of what it really could do for me in that sense, because I didn't really have plans on becoming a pro snowboarder. I just wanted to come out and enjoy Colorado and the Rockies and learn how to snowboard better. I never had any intentions of taking it to the next level. And that's how it ended up. So, yeah, it led to a lot of big things for me,
Do you surf also?
I do. I spend half the year in Hawaii, half the year in Colorado.
Now, you've also been a host of the ESPN Summer and Winter X Games.
Yes, that was another thing. What happened with the whole snowboarding scene was I took that to the next level for a while, and then as every other sports person does, they go into the microphone after they get off the court. You know what I mean? So I went straight into the microphone, which I started hosting a local show in Aspen. When you wake up in the morning here in Aspen, Colorado, there is a show called Aspen 82. There was so many different shows, and I'm the host for it. So you'll wake up to my face and I intro with Good Morning Aspen, Colorado, and welcome to another beautiful day here in paradise. I'm your host, Othello, and let me tell you about today. And so I've been doing that for quite some time. And then X Games, ESPN approached me to host their live events. And of course I jumped on that. And then I stayed with them for 7 years, traveling the world hosting their shows. And that was a great, great experience for me. And it got me a lot of other gigs. You know, I've been around for a minute. People just don't really realize it until I tell them, and they go, "Oh, I knew it. I knew it." So I'm one of those kind of guys that people sleep on, but I have no problem with it. You know what I mean?
You're right. Well, now, how early is your show in the morning? You have to get up at 4 a.m. or something?
Good question. I get up at 5 a.m. and then I get dressed, and I'm a single father. So I get my little baby up. He is 4 years old, and I get him dressed and I make him something. But it's only 2 days a week. And I make him something, and then the sitter comes over, and then I leave, and I go to the mountain, and it's still dark outside, and my snowmobile is waiting for me, and it started, and then I get on my snowmobile, and I drive up the mountain in the dark, and then as the sun's coming out, it's not fully dark, sometimes of the year it is, but as the sun's coming up, I'm driving up the mountain, and then at 7:15, I go live.
Wow, that must have been good training, being used to getting up so early for your gig on The Bold and the Beautiful, because I know that soap actors have to get up really early.
You know, we do, they do, my call times are usually feasible, 9 o'clock, you know, they're all day type things. So, you know, like to get up earlier, you know, clear the studio earlier. But at the same time, it's all scheduled so neatly, and it's not their first day, you know. So they know exactly who needs to be where at what time, and it always works like clockwork.
Now, also, you hosted in Brazil. How did that come about?
All over. I mean, all over. I'm telling you, I've truly been blessed, you know. I've been just about every single magazine. I graced the center of Maxim doing a backflip. Snowboarding became my life, so I was doing a switch underflip over like a 50-foot gap, and that was the centerfold next to Tiger Woods' wife in that Maxim magazine that year that she posed for the Maxim. And the next page was me, and that one just, I mean, people from all over the world hit on that one. And then I started getting calls from just everywhere, you know. And so I would take gigs here and there, man. But it led me to there.
So one thing leads to another.
It all snowballed, you know. Aspen recognized. I also own skateboard stores because I realized that skateboarding wasn't prevalent in the Aspen area. So I started this whole skateboard movement out here in camps and this and that. And, you know, I'd have my little skateboard. I have a little bag. And, you know, I come from nothing. So I came here to Aspen with $200 in my pocket. I didn't know one soul. I didn't know one person here. I was just told that I needed to be here. So I drove in my car from Virginia by myself and got here. And so when I started the skateboard business, I had skate camps and I had these little backpacks. I had this green army backpack, and I remember going to the Use It Again store and buying all these skateboards that were just so beat up. And I said, you know, asking skateboard camp. So I asked this one place if I could use the back of their shop to host my skateboard camp. And I drew all these little flyers and I put them all over the poles in Aspen. And sure enough, 2 weeks later, I got a call, and it was like this one kid, you know, and I was like, wow, this is great. He came and I outfitted him up, and his parents signed a little waiver that I made on the computer, you know what I mean? And it was great. And then 2 days later, it was 3 little kids. And now they follow me single file line behind me when I'm done getting them all suited up, and then their cute little kids would be following me to the bus stop. And then all these people started like taking pictures going, oh, that's so cute, that's so cute. Then USA Today got word of it.
Wow.
Then USA Today came and did an article on me. And then after that article hit, it was a wrap. My camp started getting booked from the summer before, you know, so then I had all kinds of employees. It was just crazy stuff how it all happened.
Wow.
So that's how, and I realized that I needed stores to outfit this place, and then I opened a series of skateboard stores, and that's where Othello skate shops come from.
Holy shit.
So that was crazy, and that's how the skateboarding life took off. But then, you know, as I told you, I live half in Hawaii, and I live half in Aspen. And so I was in Hawaii one time, and this is gonna kill you. So I was in Hawaii one time, and the president of Aspen Skiing Company calls me up, and I see a 970 number, and I'm like, I better answer, it might be business. So I answer it, and he's like, "Hi, this is Pat O'Donnell from Aspen Skiing Company, whatever." And I said, "Hi, how are you?" He goes, "Listen, the city of Aspen really recognizes you as a really outstanding figure for this community, and we really love to reward you." And I said, "Oh, great. That sounds good. Here I am thinking that they're going to give me a dinner or night at one of their hotels or something, So I'm like, "Thanks, Pat. So what are you thinking?" And he said, "Well, are you sitting down?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Why don't you have a seat?" So I sat down, like, "What are you thinking?" He's like, "Well, we'd like to name a run after you on top of Aspen Mountain."
Wow.
Yeah, man. So I said, wow, I've always been tapped to shoot for the moon, and you just land in the stars if you don't make it. So right when he said that, I said, "Oh, really?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, how about I make it a private snow park?" And he's like, "What are you thinking?" I'm like, "Well, the X Games features are so big, and little kids go there, and they always get wrecked when they try to do these tricks. And I think that there needs to be a place that little kids can start with the little jumps in the ground, and then they progress up to waist high, to chest high, to overhead, and they learn jumps and rails in that sense before they go kill themselves there." He's like, "That's a great idea." I'm like, "Perfect." I said, "Well, how about I have little speakers all throughout the trees, and then I have a DJ come out while they're in there training, and he just plays live music. That would be great." I said, "Well, okay, how about I have this hut, and I need flat screens all over, couches, I need heated, and I need a refrigerator, everything in there." Othello, now you're talking. I said, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Pat O'Donnell." I hung up the phone, and I had a park.
Wow, that's crazy. That's amazing. Now, you obviously are really good with kids, because you said you're a single dad.
It's been my life. It's been my life. I see him get wrecked a lot, so that's how it all came about, So then that was amazing. And then from there, after that happened, forget about it. I was in every magazine in the world. I'm the only African American ever to have a run named after him, one. And I'm also the only person that was alive that had a run named after them. So with those two things, I was in every magazine and every article from here to Japan to Timbuktu. And that again put me on the map. And so that was that. So that's how I became super well known and big time in the whole Aspen, Rocky Mountains action sports scene.
Wow, that's now how did
that's how it happened.
Now you've also been a DJ.
Here's the thing with the DJing. I always dabbled in because my stores, I have little ramps in the back of the room you go in, and then there's a little half pipe in there in a cage, and then I'd have a DJ in the corner and a 50s, Studio 54 DJ booth spinning music for little kids playing skateboarding. So of course I always dabbled in there. And I learned to spin, and it just came second nature to me because I love music. So that was that. So I've always dabbled with it, and now it's even, easier with Serato. It makes less, carrying record. And it's been a hobby of mine, and I'm getting back into it. I'm definitely getting back into it.
What kind of music do you like to spin?
Well, I like to play the crowd. So it's not what kind of music I like to play. It's the kind of people that are in the crowd that I like to make moves. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I like to move the crowd.
Okay, so it's what I want to hear.
But at the end of the day, I like reggae music. I like everything, really. I mean, I'm such a nerd when it comes to my music, but like I said, I like to move the crowd, and I always seem to be able to do that.
Name a few of your favorite artists.
Gosh, I like everyone. I love Justin Timberlake. I start off with that one because I want to trip people out when I say that. Mm-hmm. But, I go all the way down to underground, like Metaphysics, and I go into, I like a lot of hip hop. I like Redman, Method. I like Lil Wayne because everybody calls me Lil Wayne every single place I go in the world. So of course I had to start listening to him. So I like a lot of Lil Wayne, and I like Jay, I like everybody. I really, but if it's my set and it's my peoples all around, and I'm from where I'm from, then it'd be a whole reggae set, of course.
Now when I think of skaters, because I'm from the Boston area originally, and everybody I knew that was a skater listened to thrash music.
Yeah, no, I had to listen to that too, but I never could really get into that. Mm-hmm. I was out there on the RV skateboarding, and I was the only black kid skateboarding, but I couldn't take it to the next level, listening to the music too. I was always the dude And when my run came, you knew it was me because it was the hip hop music that came on. People would turn their heads and be like, Othello must be skating.
You've always just done your own thing, and it seems to have worked out for you really well. And I don't know if you know this, but your IMDb rank is up 65,000 points this week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, 65,000 this week, so people are looking you up more and more.
Wow, that's great. You know, it's crazy. Life is crazy, and all I can say is that I'm super blessed, and things happen for a reason. You know, I've come a long way. I'm still far from there yet, but I've definitely paid my dues, and I'm definitely continuing to do what I want to do, but in a way that I don't overexert myself or go out on a limb that's not me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it was perfect that Bold and Beautiful called me to be me.
So how did that happen? Did they just noticed you from all the magazines and called you?
Bold and Beautiful. Well, you know, it's kind of quintessential. I've been in a couple other productions, and when you want to make the production real, it's kind of quintessential that you have certain people in this production. You have the taxi cab, disco taxi driver, who's a famous taxi driver who has a big show lights in his car that he drives around. You have this one skier, who's Klaus Obermeyer, who's like, he invented down jackets, you know what I mean? You gotta have him in there, and then you gotta have the black guy with dreadlocks named Othello.
It's a cool name.
And that's gonna make your shit real, you know what I mean? It's gonna make it real when you put me in there. So that was a scoop. I don't know if you remember the first episode. Rick called me, and you know, I'm the kind of man about town, and I know a lot of big players all around the world, and Rick being one of them, he called me and was like, you know, my sister's coming through, so can you keep an eye on her? And that's how it all made sense, because I do skate around town, and I do like to keep an eye on women. So that's how it all came down. And so what happened from there is I did well, and I brought a dynamic that wasn't really there, you know, a new energy, freshness, a new look to what is currently going on. And I guess that sparked a lot of people's interest. So we got some emails and calls, and then, you know, they called me a couple of weeks after, and, you know, we wrote you in again, and I'm like, wow, that's tremendous, you know, and then called me a couple of weeks later and wrote me in again, and I was like, this is unbelievable. And a year and a half later, almost 2 years now, I'm still getting calls, and, you know, I'm on my 40-something episode.
Wow, yeah. I remember when Rick called you up, and I can actually say you this time because you play yourself. I'm always big on differentiating between the actor and the character, but when Rick called you up and had you lie about Steffi and Liam because he didn't want Hope to marry Liam.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy, and people slowly are realizing that I'm me. What I do is bring a sense of reality to the soap, which we're, you know, definitely about to go to a whole nother level. You know, it's like you can film my character. I don't take any punk in what I do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's what I bring, and that's what's refreshing to a lot of people. So I guess that's why I continue to get that call.
I definitely can see you growing as an actor.
Thank you very much. It's uphill battle, and especially when you're around such talented people like Herm Mosley, you know, and Jacob and Catherine. Like it's crazy. That's all I can tell you. It's crazy. But they are so nice to me, and everyone just helps me, and everyone like walks me through things, you know, and just gets me so ready to do what I have to do that when it comes time to do it, I'm so prepared. That's what's been happening with us.
Have you met some of the cast of The Young and the Restless, being that you shoot next door to them?
No, we bumped them. We walked the same hallways, and I think I maybe bumped into one or two. But you know, I don't come from this background. I come from a host. What I'm used to, Rob, is somebody handing me a microphone and going, here are your talking points. You have a 45-second out, and you have a 45-second intro. I'll see you in a little bit. And then I put my headset on, and then they go to their control room, and I do what I do. So that's what I'm used to. And now this background, now doing what I'm doing now, acting on Bold, is like, it's different. So I gotta look around for all the key players. You know what I mean? And then I realize who they are after, because a lot of people tweet me, did I see him, and all the exact same question you just asked me. You know, like, yeah, I'm gonna see him tomorrow. And like I said, it's such a great platform for me to try to hone in on this talent and try to take it to another level. But it's not something that just happens overnight. And it's really weird after you start acting how you watch movies in a whole different light, and you watch shows in a whole different light, you know, because you just watch them as an actor now, and I watch them and I watch all their talking points like it's crazy. But it's been such a great roller coaster, and I'm loving every second of it. Every time I get a phone call, I'm on cloud nine.
You get a lot of them. No, I totally get what you mean about being an actor and watching things differently, because I'm a musician and I produce my own stuff. So when I hear music, I listen to it from, it's really hard for me to step back and not get all analytical and technical. Oh, wait, they use this plug-in on that,
Exactly. I'm like, oh, she came in at the wrong time. Do you see how she did that? She cut her, and I watch it differently now. It's crazy, but it's also learning for me as well. Every time I watch movies now and watch shows, I pick it up, because it's timing. You know what I tell people it's like, because a lot of people ask me, because I come from hosting to acting, what it's like, and I say, and this will be good for you because you're a musician. It's like learning how to play the guitar and knowing how to sing. You know how people go, you know how to sing and play the guitar? When you're learning the guitar, it's because it's two different things. You learn to play the guitar, and then you learn to remember the words, and then you have to learn them both together. Right. And so that's what it is like to me now, because now I don't really have to learn how to be anyone except myself, but I have to learn the words, and I have to learn, what I have to say, and then I have to put it together and still be me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see it must be a challenge sometimes when somebody else is writing the words for you if it's not something that you would normally say.
Yeah, it is, but I am able to, change a little bit here and there to fit my style more of how it would really be me, because we don't want my image to change of who I am, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So I am able, but not like tremendously. I can change some words here and there, but I can't change a whole paragraph. But I can change a couple words here and there, and make it more authentic. And there's not a problem. So that's how I'm able to continue to sound authentic in a way.
Now, would you be interested in acting and playing someone other than yourself at some point?
What a great question. I would. I definitely am interested in that down the road. Right now, I still think that I have a lot of growing to do on the whole acting scene. And from all the support that I got, it helps me to continue forward doing what I'm doing with excitement. You do have some haters, and you do read some things that bring you down. But then again, you read some great things that just make you go, wow, that's really paying off, And so I think that I need to lock this in and get this, under my feet and get it down to a science to really be capable of moving further and being the person I really want to be on the screen, you know what I mean?
Yeah, acting on soaps is the most challenging, because they have to learn so many pages of dialogue and they only get one or two takes.
Yeah, it is. So, it comes second nature, and to watch those other guys do it, like I was saying earlier, it's just amazing, because they do it every single night, and it's just amazing how well they do it. It's just crazy to me, Yeah. But they do it, and it's inspirational. It's definitely inspirational for me.
Now, will we expect to see you back on The Bold and Beautiful? Are you allowed to say?
Well, like I said, I'm not in the soap. It's my real life. It's reality for me. So Rick Forrester is a friend of mine, and I'm in California every week. So I guess we can just say that, or, he comes out to see me. So that's enough for you.
You were definitely right about your story being jaw-dropping. And I think good things happen to good people. And you sound like you definitely appreciate all the stuff. You don't take it for granted.
No, I've been to the Othello and back, and so it takes going there to come back from it and realize how, lucky you are and how fortunate you are to have everything that you have, you know what I mean? And it took that for me, which I hate to say it sucks. I went through that, but I went through it and I came out of it on this end. So I'm happy. Things are good. I had to pay for it, and I did. I'm on the other end of it right now.
Definitely. I find that people who went through hard times before they gain success appreciate it more and remain more down to earth.
Yeah, and you see that, and you know that as one of those people meeting another person like that, you can tell that they've been through some things themselves, and that's what builds character and friendships. And as I was telling you earlier off the recording here, it's all a family, and the cast is put together in a way that it makes it look good, but it's also put together in a way that it keeps people that it's a family, so the dynamic is there. So Brad Bell and everyone, they don't cast someone that's just good on camera, but it has to be a vibe that's more complete than on, because it has to be off too, because it's a family that has to be together all the time. And so they do such a great job, because when you go in and you're in the midst of everyone, it's like family. It literally is, and it's just great. So that's another reason why it's just been so easy for me, and it's been a fun experience, because it's like I've gained a whole nother family. It's amazing. It's amazing to walk you through the ropes. It's like an after school special. It really. I go to work. I feel like what's the guy's name that hosts all the shows? The Latino guy. Mario Lopez. I feel like I'm in an after-school special every time I leave the studio.
Your story is definitely very inspiring, and it gives me hope.
And again, I'm just blessed. Good things come. You just can never. I mean, like I said, I'm far from there, but I'm on my way, and more opportunities keep coming my way, and I just keep going, wow, every day I hang up the phone and I get a call here. I mean, everything that comes my way is a blessing. You calling me, your people calling me, asking me if I could be on your show is a blessing to me. I mean, it's a blessing to me, it's a great thing. And, the thing is, I never gave up, and I still never give up. But I never try so hard that it stares me off the real righteous path of who I am. Mm-hmm. So I keep a great balance, and I keep it a steady flow, and things just happen to come my way. Just be a good person and do good things, and that's what I've learned, say a couple prayers, and just keep it together, and you can't help but go up,
Definitely. Now, if your son decided to pursue a career in show business or something that's in the public eye, would you support that or encourage him?
Oh, man, I don't know if you've seen my son.
No.
My son is one beautiful little kid. He's one of the most beautiful little kids, and I don't say that because I'm a father and I'm so proud of my kid, which I am a father. But I was blessed with this little kid. He's like a top model. So every single day, 7 days a week, somebody tells him how gorgeous he is, this, that. You can go on my Twitter, Othello Now, and check out my pictures, and you'll see my little boy there. And now he's in it. Now he wants to do Disney, and I have friends at other CBS, Dr. Phil's, who their producers have called for him, and I just got this gig the other day, a Chevy commercial, and I hung up the phone, and I was like, Pops, we got another gig, and he was like, Papa, when are you going to get me a big gig? I'm trying to get my own cash. I want to buy my own thing.
Your 4-year-old son said that?
4 years old.
Oh, wow.
And then he got on the iPhone. It was it's a crazy thing. So he's already there. And I mean, I'm going to be behind him 100% in anything he wants to do. What everybody thinks is that he's going to be a skateboarder or a snowboarder, because that's what I do for a living. But, you know, I don't ever push that. You know, people say that to me, so he must be great on a skateboard. He must be great on a snowboard. I'm like, you know, he's okay. He's good. Actually, he's starting to ski next year. And they're like, what? I'm like, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to let him be him, you know?
That's so good.
So that's what I got. I was able to do whatever I wanted to do growing up and be whoever I wanted to be. So I'm going to, you know, definitely let my kid do the same.
I think that's the most important thing about parenting is not to try to make your kid do what you want them to do, but support their interests.
You know, I hear that all the time too, Rob, but let's really be real sometimes. How about Serena and Venus? They didn't want to play tennis all day, and they're crushing right now. They're two of the richest black girls walking around this earth. So I wonder, I think about that. How about Tiger? He got tired of golf.
Yeah.
Right now. Like, so I wonder about those things all the time. I'm like, do I? But I just can't make my son do something he doesn't want to do. But when people pose that question, I'm like, I don't know, man.
Well, you got to wonder how truly happy they are. You know, I mean, sometimes success and fame and money doesn't mean that they're truly happy deep down. And
whatever he wants to do, you know, I'm going to be behind him. He's literally my life. You know, he's the light of my life. I come back to Colorado 4 days a week, 3 days a week to be with him, and I fly back to California. So I only live here in Colorado 3 days a week, and then I live in California the other 3.5 days a week.
Very amazing. Sounds like you're a great dad, and you have your phone rings all the time. Hopefully you didn't miss any offers by being on this interview with me.
You know, there couldn't have been anything that I would have rather been than been on this phone with Rob and Rad Radio.
I really appreciate that.
No problem, man. And yeah, stay up. If there's anything else I can do for you, maybe you can inspire me to climb a higher ladder, and then when I get to that last, well, there'll never be the last step, but a higher step, I'll come back. We'll talk again.
Thank you very much, Othello. Now, do you have an official website, or they can follow you on Twitter?
You can follow me on Twitter at Othello Now, or you can go to my fan page on Facebook, which you can just go straight from OthelloClark.com, and it'll take you right there. And you can just like that and follow me. You know, what people have tend to realize is that I'm really the average Joe. You know, I'm really the average guy, and I might wear a little makeup on camera, and I might say some things that aren't really real, but for the most part, I'm really real. So log on and check me out. OthelloClark.com or Othello Now at Twitter.
Definitely. Okay, man. Well, thank you again for spending the time with me, and it's been great talking to you.
It was great talking to you, Rob. Have a great afternoon. Thanks, Rad Radio.
You too.
This is Rad One Radio.